Okay, it's another really cold morning. I think it's about 3 degrees. I got in quite late last night. It's about 6 a.m. now. It's quite bright. I just need to pack up my stuff and hit the road. Okay, this is where I slept last night. It is a very misty morning out on the lake. I could hear things last night moving around outside my tent. It was probably just birds, but still. I got here in the dark. And then I kind of wake up to this. Very eerie and quiet too. You can see the state of my helmet. Yeah. Okay, after riding through the mist, I am absolutely soaked. It's so cold, I can't see out of my visor. Well, that explains it. It's covered in water on the inside and outside. It's like I'm riding through a really thick cloud. Okay, so I am absolutely frozen solid. I've just been riding for about an hour and a half. This behind me is the trail to a really good waterfall, but I don't want to take my clothes off, but I will, because otherwise I'll be super sweaty. This is all downhill on the way there and all uphill on the way back. This is gonna sound really dumb, but it feels weird to use my legs. Like I really haven't walked much in the last few days. Since I have some time to kill while I'm hiking, let's talk about the cost of the trip. Again, it was $10 for the park pass, about $20 for the camping, about another $10 for the cave and basin, and for gas, about $70 I'd guess in gas. And then food, which is $115, which is really good. That is not bad at all. My next stop is supposed to be, after the waterfalls, is supposed to be Johnson Lake, which is known as the Caribbean of the North. There's a long gravel road to get there, which I don't really want to go on, but I have been there not too long ago, and I took a good amount of footage. So instead of just driving up this massive gravel road just to take a couple minutes of footage, I'll just put in the footage I took from earlier in the year. Okay, so here we are. We just got to the upper lookout part of the waterfalls. So here is the river. It looks nice and peaceful. Oh shoot. And then it just drops right off. And you can go behind it. So you see people down there, that is where I'm gonna go. And our first look at the waterfall. Look at that beauty. So that guy over there is a good reference point for scale. You can see how big he is versus the waterfall. I'm gonna follow this trail and it goes behind it and then out to there. And then I gotta come back. So here I go. Got another cave in here as well. This one's a bit smaller. I suspect at one point this was the part of the plunge pool. Okay, it's time to see a really dodgy looking bridge. Look at this. I'm not sure what this is. It's like shelving from like a refrigerator or something. When I step on it, it flexes heavily. Like the bolts even move. I don't know if you can see. And even up ahead, some of the wires that go across are broken. Very dangerous. Oh my god. I got across it though. Maybe I'll try stepping from support to support. Even though that one's blooming bent. Holy shit. This has got to be the sketchiest bridge I've ever been on. Oh, and the whole thing is wobbling. I'm sure these safety ties going to like these rocks are good. I'm in the middle. Even that rod's bent, Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm gonna back away slowly. I think the hardest thing on this trip so far, especially being on a motorbike, is managing my body temperature. I'm either on the road absolutely freezing in the mornings, or in the evenings I'm sweating like a pig. I think that's where a car has a massive advantage. I think if I did the trip earlier in summer, when it was a bit warmer, I think this wouldn't have been too big of an issue. I decided not to wear my riding trousers from the last waterfall to this waterfall. And it feels pretty warm out, but as soon as you hit the road, it's absolutely freezing. I'm just coming to the lookout point. It's carved a long way into there. And then the plunge pool it creates will cut the valley back that way even further. It looks so small. Tiny little trickle. And then it drops down there. Something I keep telling myself every time I get to a new location, I always want to stay there for longer. But the problem is, if I did that, then I wouldn't get to see the other places. But having seen most of my trip now, like I know my favorites for sure. You know, you can't really rank places until you've been able to compare them to the others. I'm quite pleased with how I did this trip. Wow. Left here is the turning for Johnson Lake. I'm at the McClure ferry. I'm not going to go across it, but it looks like this chap might be. Maybe not. There it is. I'm going to have a little look around. I think this guy's about to load onto it. It looks like two kind of long, thin boats. This is just sand. The loading ramp. Oh, not for me! Thanks though. I'm just leaving the McClure ferry. I made a little bit of a mistake. I started racing people coming into town, and I've got 1 bar of fuel out of 6, so I should make it. I should have easily made it, but I got a bit happy with the throttle, so I'll baby it the last little bit into town. Okay, I just got back. I feel like that trip was the perfect length. Like, I was about ready for it to be done. It was long enough that it feels good. If it was any shorter, I would think I'd be wanting more. Yeah, I'm gonna have a lovely shower now because I'm feeling a bit greasy. For something like a 1600 kilometer trip, the bike looks surprisingly clean. There's a little bit of dirt around the bottom there. A little bit on the front of the mud guards, but what that was from, the Mud Lake camping spot, it was just so humid and wet. But hey, tyres are still inflated. They were pretty much new when I started the trip. Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna take a shower. And my tent is soaking wet, so my sleeping bag is wet also, so I need to stretch those out, let them air dry, but I can do that later. I just laid out my tent. And you can see it's absolutely drenched. It's like sticking to each other, sticking to itself. It's like a pool of water there. And then same with the top cover. There you just see it's absolutely drenched. This isn't rain or anything, this is all from the humidity from the lake. I'm quite fortunate to have gotten back into town when I did, because this is looking north. Usually you can see about 60 kilometers. I would have been riding through that when I was riding home south. So yeah, if I came in this evening, I would have been coughing quite heavily. And yeah, trip done.